Welcome everybody. Gaming Grandpa here with Team 2 for my MLS Glory with DC United. Once again, I'm going to be doing two teams a season or a year, or football manager year I should say, but because there wasn't a football manager 25, I luckily am able to get this second one done. But anyway, this is season 1 preseason. We're getting ready to play our first game, which you're going to get to see my team in action. But I just want to go through most of what I go through in preseason with y'all. Okay, as you know, DC United doesn't have very much money when you start out. It's kind of pathetic. So I hired and filled all the staff, and this is one of the few times that I actually didn't fire people or mutually terminate them, just because we just don't have the money that New York Red Bulls or St. Louis or other teams have had. So I had to take a different stance in the entire save so far. We only had $3.5 million in transfer budget, which we had a lot more New York Red Bulls in St. Louis. Now, next year I'm supposed to have $8 million. We'll see. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I think we made some pretty good transfers. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to go through the squad planner first. That way you get an idea of who's here. I'll try to do my best to tell you, if they were here, if we brought them in or whatnot. All right, but starting out, I'm going to be playing a 4-2-3-1. I love my gig and press, so we're going to see how well that works. But Christian Benteke was here. He's taken up a DP slot. He's also an international player. He wouldn't have been my first choice, if you know the truth about it. And it has nothing to do with his age. It's just, I don't know. I never really cared for him, if you want to know the truth about it. But anyway, he is my starting striker. Miguel Berry was already here. I have no idea what's going on here. This is really weird. But anyway, Miguel Berry, he was already here. He's my backup. Now, when it comes to backups and young players, I love when they have small salaries. I really like that. But he has room to improve just a little bit, but for his price, I decided to go ahead and keep him. Now, Wesley Leggett is going to be, and I should have done this. Let's show you. This is what Benteke looks like. I think it's funny. We spent $6 million, and I still have a lot of clauses left to pay for him. So, it is what it is. All right, here's Miguel Berry. And then Wesley Leggett was already here. He was actually in my B team. Now, whenever you take over a new save in the MLS, you always start on 2 January. Don't ask me why. That's just the date that they throw you into, and usually your team has already signed a bunch of players and a bunch of, he was one that they signed. Now, I would have probably kept him in the B team, but you know what? No harm, no foul. All right, but he's going to get some play time. He's my youth player. In most positions I like to have, I have a starter, I try to have a backup, and I have a youth player if I can help it. Some positions you can't because, there's 11 positions, and obviously you can't have 3 in each one, or you wouldn't be able to register them. So I do my best to have at least one youth player in every position if I can, and I'll hit up with more on that one here in just a bit. Mark Mahoney, I will cover him in a little bit. All right, for my left winger, this guy they brought in right before I got here, he's not horrible, all right? And for his salary, I'm like, you know what? That's fine. It's just he's an international player, and he is 27. So I would rather have had a younger player. But you know what? He was already here, and like I said, his contract started. Oh, okay. He was here for a little. Oh, I probably could have got rid of him. But once again, he was cheap, so I thought, why not? All right, here's a guy that I definitely didn't want. And he's transfer listed. All right, he's 30 years old, and they just brought him in. See, they do all of these, after the transfer window, the second transfer window, pretty much. So he hasn't been here long enough. I tried to, offer him out, and he got ticked. So it's like, whatever, man. But I wouldn't have signed him. He's 30 years old. Like I said, he takes up an international spot, and he's making $923,000, which is over the max salary budget charge. So he takes up my TAM, and it just ticks me off. I'll talk more about Patrick Way in just a bit in Durkach. Okay, but nonetheless, Morrison is my backup, at least for now, until I could get rid of him. I'll talk more about Keita. I brought him in, and I brought Ramses in too, but they're going to, make up the central midfield. All right, my right winger, Rodriguez, was already here. He is making a lot of money. Wouldn't have been my first choice. Now, first off, when I say not my choice, they're good players. Don't get me wrong. But for what they want in salary, it's ridiculous because we had to use up TAM to pay for him, and I just don't really like that. But once again, he really doesn't have any room to improve. And so, like I said, I like to bring in players that I can actually sell for profit in the future. And him, even though we only paid $300,000 for it, hopefully I could sell him. But who knows? But he's my starting right winger. Now, Ted, he was with the team, and I have no problem with him. He's going to be here hopefully for a few years because he does have room to improve, and he's a pretty versatile player. So I kind of like him. Plus, he's fairly cheap. All right, Christian Fletcher is another youngster that came from our academy. And I don't know if he develops properly. I could sell him for a pretty hefty profit, because he's not going to be a starter in quite a few years. But he will get some game time. All right, this kid, I'm going to go ahead and talk about him now because his transfer, he's not due to come in here until, you read that right, 2025. I signed him at 15, which is really weird. And then it said that, do you want to bring him on trial until he arrives? And I'm thinking, what the heck? So he's been playing the B team on trial until 2025. It's crazy. But hopefully he'll develop pretty well. I don't know what his star rating is going to be yet, but at the same time, he was 15. It didn't cost me anything because he's on trial for 2 freaking years, and then he's going to be on a reserve contract. So, you know what? By the time his contract starts, he's going to be over. His contract will expire. But you know what? I might be able to make a profit on him. But once again, it's one of them things where you're like, you know what? He'll be in my B team. I don't have to worry about international players, so why not? It's funny. Okay, central midfielders. I play at the left and I play at the right. The left one is my starter is Russell Canoose. He was here already. And matter of fact, he's been here for quite a while. And I just kind of hated to get rid of him. I probably could have, but I'm like, you know what, man? Why not? I mean, he's got USA nationality. He's an American, so why not, And he's not making that much. I mean, he's still a senior contract, so I'm okay with that. All right, Chris Durkin is my backup on the left-hand side in the midfield. Another youngster. I don't mind him either. Hopefully he'll be here a while, so we'll see what happens. But they have him on an under-22 initiative contract. And I don't really care for that, but I have openings, so, it's okay. All right, Jackson Hopkins is going to be playing as my youth player. I think he'll develop pretty well. We'll see what happens. He came from our academy, and, I like to have kids like that come from our academy. Okay, this kid, I'll talk about him in a bit. All right, Victor Paisan is one that, it's hard to judge him. He's not been here that long. But he's not a bad player. He's on a decent wage, so he's not going to improve any. But he's a leader. I do need some of these older players. So I have no problem keeping him for a while. All right, Jeremy Gray is my backup underneath him. He was here with the club already. As you can tell, he came from our academy. And I think he'll do a pretty good job in the future. So we'll see how he develops. Once again, Hopkins is my backup. He's just I want him, but I don't know if I can afford him yet. Okay, my left back, Derek Williams. Now, nothing against Derek. Truly, nothing against the man, but he wouldn't have been my first choice for center back or left back. I mean, he just wouldn't have. He's making more money than I'd like to pay him. He's not going to improve, and he's only a 3-star. I just, and it's not just that, but, okay, he is an American. All right. Good for them, but he's not my first choice. All right, but he's my starting left back. Jacob Green is the backup. He's going to get quite a bit of playing time. I hope he develops soon so he could take Derek's place, so we'll see. All right, here's a youngster that come from our academy, and he is going to get some play time this year. He had a really good preseason, and you can see that he's developing at a pretty good rate. His determination's definitely gone up, so I'm happy with that. But, he has potential, so we'll see what happens with him. All right. Now, central defenders. I don't have an actual starter on the left-hand side, which is funny. But I'll talk about this kid and Junior in a bit. Hayden Sargis was already here, and I've had a few teams that have wanted him, and I held on to him. He's on a good salary, and we'll see how he develops. He's going to get some game time this year. All right, my central defender on the right side, Donovan Pines, is my starter. He can improve a little bit. He's still only 24. He's 6'5". He's a big, strong guy. So I have no problem with him playing. Not only that, but his salary is excellent. So he'll probably be with us for a few years. All right, I'll talk about him in a bit too. I brought him in. There's Hayden again. All right, the right back. We have Ruan, who is the starting right back. Now, he's 27, so I don't have a problem playing some of these guys that are older. Don't get me wrong. But he's on a decent contract for a starter. So he's probably going to hopefully take this position for a couple years, but you never know in the MLS. If I get a good offer for him, he's gone because Andy Nahar can take his spot fairly easily. And look at this. This kid can play all over the place. But he is 29, and he's making a little bit more than my starter, but we'll see what happens. All right, I'll talk about Santiago in just a bit. Goalkeepers. All right, Romo. He looks like a decent guy, decent chap, but wouldn't have been my first choice. He wasn't my first choice goalkeeper. He was actually my backup, and he's on a good salary. So, once again, you need a few leaders. So I figured, why not? He has taken up an international spot, but he is transfer listed at the moment, and we'll see what happens. All right, this kid here, Alex Bonham, he was an emergency backup, which I changed to backup when I got rid of my other goalkeepers, and I'll talk about that in a bit too. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. He could be a starter, but he's not a number one starter. He's mainly been a backup his whole life. But we'll see what happens. My goalkeepers are all on good salaries. All right, Tim Ronning. For those of you that have watched me a few years with this series, whether it was Building a Dynasty or this one, Tim Ronning should be a familiar name. I've signed him before. Look at his stats, though. 20 jumping reach, 17 aerial reach. He's a good, solid goalkeeper. He has room to improve. He did cost me $1.4 million. I actually threw in some clauses and stuff, which I don't like doing. But once again, when you have $3.5 million, you have to do a few things here. However, he is still on loan. He is still back with IF Elfsborg for the rest of the season. But he is going to be my starting goalkeeper next season. And then I'll talk about this kid here in a little bit too. Oh, no, I better talk about him now because he's not signed. I am trying to offer him a contract, but I have to pay some money and I don't have that much yet. So there's a couple players I'm trying to bring in, but I want to bring him in too. All right, now I'm going to talk about the players that are coming in. And Wosu, I love this kid. He's free. Why not? And he's not coming until next year. All right, Santiago Moreno. He is going to be coming in, and he's not going to be a starter yet, but he's probably going to take Ruan's spot pretty doggone quick. He's going to be on an under-22 initiative contract. He was 21 when I signed him, so everything works out great. But he's not going to get here until July. But look at this. He's going to be really good for us, and I'm excited. Okay. Anytime you see these guys here, they're my B team. My staff are bringing in a bunch of players, which I asked them to. It's just, unfortunately, they don't bring in the best players, but what can you do? All right, here's Tom. I talked about it. He was a free transfer. He's going to be on a reserve contract. So I'm excited. I don't know why it doesn't say transfer arranged over here, but, I can still sign him, but it's just really ridiculous. But anyway, he's coming in, and he'll be in the B team for a while when he gets here. I already talked about this kid on trial, but he's in the B team. All right, Luis Fernando. For those of you that follow my New York Red Bulls MLS glory, you'll remember this kid. I got him. I don't even remember what I paid for him. It wasn't that much. Or maybe it's a free transfer, I think. That's what it was. But I love this kid. He was a wonder kid when I got rid of him, and I sold him for 55 million, or no, 35 million after he was here for a year with my New York Red Bull save. So I'm hoping he can, really have a good season with me. All right, I'm going to go through the transfer history, and from Jacob Morrell to Derek Williams was already here when I got here. Okay, now the first signing was from my academy. This kid here, and he's in the B team. His training rating is outstanding. Look at him. Look at this kid. He is going to improve big time, and he is going to be a right back. And I love my academy kids when they could come in and be starters for me. I love that. I mean, he's injury prone, but we'll work on that hopefully. But he's going to be an outstanding player for us. All right. Salvatore was another one I signed. He's not been doing that well, but his training is 7.1, so not too bad. But you know what? Once again, they're academy kids. Worst case scenario, they play my B team for 2 or 3 years, and then I could sell them for profit. All right, same thing with this kid. I don't know how he's going to develop. We'll see. He's fickle, so. But once again, for what I'm paying, it's not a bad deal. Okay, this guy, and there's a few more in here. They were B team people. All right, so I don't even need to show you them. All right, here was my first signing. He was a free signing. He was 18 when I signed him. He's in the B team. He's developing fairly well. He's a center back. So we'll see how well he does. I like to keep my young kids in the B team for a little while to kind of mature. And so hopefully he can. All right. Now, after him was my first big signing, and he was a free agent. So he's probably not going to improve, but he's in his prime. He's 28 years old. Look at these stats, man. He's on a DP contract, so it's really not hurting me that much at all. He's played for Liverpool, Leipzig, Salzburg. I mean, he's going to be a good player for me, and he's playing my central attacking midfielder. But yeah, he's already a star MLS. He is injury prone, and he did have an injury, but he likes big matches. He's consistent. I mean, for a free agent, you can't beat it because if I could get $5 million for him in a year, I'll take it. But anyhow, that was that guy. Okay, Ramses. I've signed him with St. Louis, and I can't believe I paid $400,000 for him. And the funny thing is, as soon as he's okay, I got a message that like 10 or 11 teams offered him or bid on him. Man United, Man City, a bunch of teams. And the next day he signed with me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I got this kid. He is going to be a really good player if I could keep him. That's the key. Most of these kids won't stay here that long. All right, here's another free agent. I couldn't pass this up. He was 16 when I signed, and he's in my B team. We'll see how well he does. I've never heard of him, but hey. All right, Junior. You guys know this kid. I don't really need to talk about him. He's a good little player. I paid $850,000 for him. I think we got a good deal. All right. This kid I've never heard of. But he's another center back. He's 6'2". We'll see how well he does. I don't think he'll be a bad player for me. I paid $600,000 for him, and he's already, I could double, triple my value already. So I think he'll be a good signing. Kevin Ordway, free agent. I love this kid. He develops really well in every save I've ever had. And, I could sell him in a few years for a profit. So he'll be in the B team. All right, here was Mahoney. He's still on loan with Cork City, who I paid $400,000 for. But he's developed really nicely, so I'm happy. We'll see what happens with him. Okay. That was another B team guy. This kid here, I've never heard of him, but he came up on my scouting reports, and the reason I signed him was because I got rid of, I'll go into my departures here, but I didn't want to sign him. I didn't know I was going to have to sign him, but I needed another center back, so I signed him. But he has pretty good numbers. I mean, his mentals are pretty good. I mean, he's only 19. I paid $250,000 for him, and so he'll be worth his value, and then some. Okay, Tim Running, I've already covered. He's my goalkeeper, and then these 4 are B team people. Oh man, I gotta have something to drink. I'm sorry. Okay, now for outgoing transfers. These 2 were already gone when I got here. Jalen Robinson, I really don't like getting rid of American guys that are older, but he wasn't going to play for me. I mean, look at that. He's a 1.5 star, 28 years old. So I sold him. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Okay. This kid here, never really had any plans for him with left back, and I figured, why not, you know? I mean, he's not a bad player. He wasn't making that much, really, but if you're not going to play him, you might as well get rid of him. Plus, he was an international slot, and I'm like, you know what? I got better players to take your spot. So I sold him for $725,000. All right, I debated whether or not to sell this kid. I ended up transfer listing him, and I only had one offer, and it was Coventry City for $1 million up front, and they wouldn't negotiate. And I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Let's get rid of him. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's quick. He has a lot of traits, things that I really love. Moves into channels, knocks ball past opponent. But he was an international player, and he's 25. He's not going to really get much better. So I'm like, you know what? Why not? A million's a million, right? Okay. This is the reason why I got another center back. All right, I was loving to keep this kid. He was making $180,000, I think it was. He was a squad player. I didn't have a problem playing him. He was only 6'1", not very strong, but he has decent numbers. He is 28 though. But Huddersfield came in for him, and they offered me quite a bit of money. I'm like, you know what? Why not? So I got rid of him too. All right, Nathan Crockford's a B team goalkeeper that's on loan. This kid here was designated to leave from the get-go. Funny thing was, I had a bidding war for this guy. I had one team come in for him from China for $150,000, and I ended up getting $325 for him. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So yeah, he's gone. And then this kid here was on an international he was an international player. He wasn't going to get any play time from me, and I was about ready to put him in a B team when I transfer listed him, and I got $825,000 for him, so I was tickled pink to get rid of him. Okay, but that's the transfers. I spent 3.9, and I had 3.9 come in, so we pretty much broke even. I still have a little bit of money left. I'm trying to work a few deals. I do have more clauses than I care to have. All right, I do. Look at that. They're going to give me a little bit, but Benteke is the big one. This kid here, I have a few more, but that's okay. And in Junior, I had a few more, and in Ronnie. But you know what? That's fine. I don't normally do that, but we just didn't have the money. Okay, so trades is what I was going to talk about now. I love my trades. You know that. All right. Tyler Miller was my starting goalkeeper. He was making more money than what I thought he was worth. He's not a bad player, don't get me wrong. All right, he's a good starter for most teams. I mean, he wasn't a bad player at all. But I wanted to get rid of him because I had 5 goalkeepers at the time. I sent 2 to the B team and, 3 to the B team technically. 1 went out on loan, so it's crazy. But for his age, I had 3 goalkeepers in that same age. And I'm like, you know what, let's trade him. Plus, he had a wanted tag, so he went to Houston. Now, here's what's funny. I got a first, second, and third round draft pick for this year. Or for 24, I meant. I got a first round for 25, and I love my international slots for 3 years. But then I wanted to get rid of Pedro Santos, and he's 34. What can I say? His salary was high. $390,000 for a guy, and he was a regular starter, and I wouldn't have made him a regular starter. Look, he's a squad player now for Houston, so I think that's funny. But he was a starter. I actually tried to reduce his playing time. He threw a fit, so I'm like, you know what? You're wanted, you're gone. So he went to Houston, and the funny thing is I wanted an international slot for 2 years, and they didn't want to give me anything hardly for him, and so I threw in a third round pick, and we made the deal. All right, he was my captain. I really didn't want to get rid of him because he was on a good salary. He was an American, 32 years old. He was only 6'1", but he's been around the block. I have better players than him. But I went ahead and offered him out, and I had 5 teams interested in him. Now, when I'm making trades, there's a few things I look for. Young players is always the first thing I look for. And remember I said I'd talk about Patrick Weah? Well, here he is. Every year, I always trade at least for 1 or 2 players from other teams. He's a pretty good little player. He can play both the wings. He can play as a striker, and his development's been going pretty well. He has a lot of room to improve. He's on a good contract. And, when I tried to trade for him, I offered 4 first round picks and 500,000 allocation money, and they turned him down. So when I seen that they were interested in Birnbaum, I made a deal. I gave up the picks that they gave to me. Well, actually, no, I kept theirs and I gave mine up. But I gave up 2 first round picks, 325,000 in allocation money plus my old captain, and I got Patrick Way in an international slot for 2 years. So I thought that was a good deal. I wasn't happy with this signing. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he wouldn't have been my first choice. Plus, he was making $660,000, so I was not happy about that. It's just like, what the heck? Well, Columbus wanted him. And you always have to pay attention, throughout preseason, because players end up with wanted tags one day and then are gone the next. So as soon as you see it, that's when you make your move. And I made a trade, and I don't think we did too bad. I got a first round pick in 24, a first round pick in 25 at international slot for 2 years. I gave him up, and I gave up a third round pick next year, which I am happy to give up. All right, so here's my allocation. My draft allocation, my draft picks. In the draft in January that comes in 2024, I'll have 2 first round picks. I have 2 second round picks and currently a third. I'm hoping to trade these away. I don't ever like to use the third round picks. I usually pass anyway, so if I could trade them, I'm going to do so. Next year, I have 2 first rounders and a second, which that's a good thing. And then I haven't touched 2026 yet. I love to trade. I really do. I have a lot of people asking me what's best to do, trade or sell. Well, you have to understand that even though I'm selling players, the first 1.65 million goes to allocation funds. And that's pretty much what I made. But here's the kicker. It's after they're cut. So for example, I sold Bertha for $1 million, but after they're cut, I got $750,000. So none of that went to my transfer budget. It all went to allocation funds, and so the rest of it went to allocation funds. So now when I sell somebody, my transfer budget will start to go up. So it's crazy, but I do have quite a bit of general allocation money left, so I'm happy about that. Okay, I'm going to show you my tactics, and then I will pick a starting lineup here in just a bit. But this is what the tactics look like. All my players are locked in because they're starters, and I just want to make sure that they start because I don't want them mad. I left my goalkeeper open, and I left my left center back open. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, we're going to jump in, and we're going to play a game. And I haven't played a game yet. I don't worry about the changes because these guys are going to be playing. I always play positive. I don't care. We're going to do it. All right. Tell you what, though, I don't like that. I'm going to go next match only. I know. Hello. Oh, for God's sakes, man. Why does it do this? There we go. For crying out loud. Okay. I'm going to pick. I don't know. Who did they want me to pick? Let me see. We're going to go ahead and play this kid. All right. Goalkeeper. I'm going to play Romo. Why not? Wow, everybody's there. Okay, so now I got to see who in the heck. Sorry, guys, I should have set this up earlier. I wonder. I don't know what my AI was doing, but that's okay. All right, we're going to get rid of the B team. All right, here we go. I don't understand why it said they were involved in another match. That does not make sense to me. All right, here we go. Quick pick subs. I thought I could quick pick subs. Where's it at? Yeah, whatever. We're just going to do this. I don't like when they do it this way, but oh well. Durkin. I can't. Patrick Way's going to get some game time.
All right. Now I'm going to have to... All right, Ramses is definitely going to come in for somebody. And I don't know why, but I always like to move him around. Okay. Nahar is actually going to be my right back, so I'm going to move him down to here. Junior is going to be 7, and I really don't need... He's my left back, but who else is my left back? No, we'll leave him there. Get him some playing time. All right, Jacob Green is the kid I'm going to take out. All right, Ramses is going to come in for Jacob Green. And then I have 2. There we go. All right, we're good. All right, this is my starting lineup, guys. Sorry about that. Goalkeeper Romel's going to get to start. My 4 backs are Williams, Kusanov, Pines, and Ruan. The midfields, Canus and Paisan. And then Fountas, Kita, and Rodriguez are my attacking trio with Benteke as a striker. So here we go, guys. Everybody seems happy. All right, what is this? Whatever. Dressing room. All right. I always do this. Pump fist. I have faith in you. Midfielders, pump fist. I trust you. Attackers, pump fist. I have faith in you. Here we go. Ravel Morrison is nervous. It's a big day for you, isn't it? What are your thoughts as you go into this match? I feel great. The first goal's crucial, right? I think we're in for a close match. All right. Do you hope your team can produce today? If we play at the levels I know we're capable of, we'll win. Yeah, we'll see. Everybody has their correct picture, by the way. I'm happy about that. Here we go. First game of the season, and we will see how well we do. Oh, yeah, we're going to have to definitely speed this up a bit. I tell you what, man. Works for me. All right, let's see what we could do. We're in the black, by the way. Wow, come on, guys. All right, we'll see how well my team does. All right, Canoes. There you go. Oh, come on, guys. LAFC has a pretty good team. And I'm not expecting to win every game this season. I'm not expecting to win too terribly many, if you know the truth about it. There you go, Ron. All right, Fontes. Boom, boom. Oh, Benteke, come on, man. Corner kick, huh? There you go. Good D, guys, even though Pines gave it away. But you know what? That's okay. Come on now, guys. Let's get on to a good start here and see how well we could do. Ooh, Rodriguez. Well, the corner kicks are working. He just headed it at the goalkeeper, but, you know, keep doing that. Once again, I'm not expecting too much from this team this year, so we'll see what happens. If you're following my New York Red Bulls MLS Glory save, you'll know that we had a really good team. But we'll see what happens here. Oh, come on, guys. There you go. Awesome. We'll take it. I'm liking it. Now, I'm also going to be simming. I am going to sim for quite a bit of time. No, I'm not going to play for set pieces. Okay. Dressing room. You're doing great. We'll keep it like that. I like to use all my subs. But not yet. This is the first game I want my players to kind of get used to playing with each other because preseason was a mess. It was everywhere. All right, Pines, what you going to do? There you go. All right, Benteke, show me why you're worth that money. I have some pretty good leaders out here in the field, too. Some experienced players, so that's one thing. All right, Williams at the corner. Let's see how well you do. Yeah. All right, guys, let's see what you're going to do here. All right, Benteke. Ugh. I'm going to get ready to make some subs here in a little bit. We'll see what happens. Boom. Well, at least we're getting them in there. I'm going to go ahead and make some subs here. And just kind of, we'll look around and see what's going on. Who's having a good game? Alright, I definitely want Ramses to come in for Katia. I want him to get in. He wants to play a... Yeah, okay. That's what I made a promise to play him in that position. So we'll see what happens. Alright, these two are having a good game, and that's fine. Rodriguez. Alright. Pedro's coming in for Rodriguez. And I'm going to make one more sub in the backfield, and it's going to be for Pine. So I am going to bring in Junior because I want him to get some play time. There we go. That's 3. And I got 2 more, and I have an idea who I want to play. So come on, guys. Let's do something. But yeah, I'm going to sim. So the next episode of this one. Ooh, there you go. About time, Benteke. So the next episode will be after mid-season. God, are you kidding me? Whatever. I couldn't see from that angle, but if they said he was, I'm sure he was. Alright, I gotta pause it and bring in my other 2 kids. Okay, let me see here. Patrick Way is coming in for... Where you at? For Fountas. And then a midfielder. Where you at? Alright, we're going to bring in Durkin. For Canoes. He's tired. No, we're going to go up Paisan. There we go. Okay, that's my subs. There we go. Alright, come on now, guys. I love to get all of my players in. Beautiful. Beautiful. I thought that was in, but that's okay. Come on, guys. What I tell you, he's a stud. A goal on his debut goal, even as a sub. I love it. All right, my kids got in just in time. At least I think they did. All right, come on now, guys. Let's do this. There you go. Beautiful. DePietro is getting some good crosses, isn't he? Come on, Williams. Let's get a good corner and let's score on one. Yeah. Oh, well. We'll take it. Unless we just totally botch this game up, it should be our first win, which is awesome. We'll see how well my team does and when we're simming. We'll see. Well, he's doing his job. He's crossing it. So, come on now. Get in front of him. There you go. Clear it and get it out. All right, there you go. There you go. All right. There you go, Wea. Let's see what you can do. Beautiful. I love when my youngsters get in on the action. So that's 2 youngsters with 2 points for us. One was an assist and one was a goal. So that was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Good job. And Bateki with the goal. About time. I'm loving it. We might not have a bad team, but we'll see. Boom. I don't have 100% faith in them yet, but we'll see what happens. Oh, nah. Ooh. I think that's the first highlight that we seen our goalie touch the ball, wasn't it? There you go. Good job. There you go. Hold up. You don't have to go down and score, but they're going to try it. That's what that positive. Oh, good slide tackle. All right, DiPietro. That's all right. Come on, let's just hurry and get this game over with, man. My guys are tired of watching, ain't you? Is it offsides? It's not, is it? Nope. Damn it. 3-1. There went our clean sheet, too, and the game's about over. Oh, well. I really don't like when they keep kicking it back to the goalkeeper. Come on now, Wea. There you go, up to Durkin. Come on now. Boom. Ramses with the corner. Beautiful corner, though. All right, you guys can end it. There you go. All right, it's a good win, 3-1. Kind of upset with that. Nice work. I was kind of upset with the goal we gave up, but you know what? It is what it is. Yeah. Okay. Let's bring us here, and like I said, we will be having a sim going on right now. I'm going to go on vacation and come back in probably June, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoy the MLS Glory series. I do. I get through them a lot quicker than the Dynasty ones, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, don't forget, I have my new YouTube channel for Football Manager only, so that's where all these videos are going. So check it out, please. Help me out, support me. I'd appreciate it. So like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you at the next episode.